Waterford Fjord, Irish Portlaoise meaning Lárag's port, is a city in Ireland. It is in the southeast of Ireland and is part of the province of Munster. The city is situated at the head of Waterford Harbour. It is the oldest and the fifth most populous city within the Republic of Ireland. It is the eighth most populous city on the island of Ireland. Waterford City and County Council is the local government authority for the city. Waterford is known for Waterford crystal, a legacy of the city's former glass-making industry. According to the 2011 Irish census, there are 65,928 in the Waterford Metropolitan District. However, it does not include its suburbs in County Kilkenny and County Wexford. There are over 80,000 within a 15 km radius of the city centre. Geography and local government. With a population of 46,732, Waterford is the fifth most populous city in the state and the 32nd most populous area of local government. Following the Local Government Reform Act 2014, Waterford City and County Council is the local government authority for the city. The authority came into operation on the 1st of June 2014. Prior to this, the city had its own local council, Waterford City Council. The new council is the result of a merger of Waterford City Council and Waterford County Council. The council has 32 representatives who are elected from 5 electoral areas. The city itself forms 3 of the electoral areas, which when combined form the Metropolitan District of Waterford, and returns a total of 18 councillors to Waterford City and County Council. Residents in these areas are restricted to voting for candidates located in the ward for local elections. The office of the Mayor of Waterford was established in 1377. A mayor is then elected by the councillors from the 2 electoral areas of the Metropolitan District of Waterford every year, and there is no limit to the number of terms an individual may serve. Mary O'Halloran, who was mayor during 2007-2008, was the first woman to hold the post. The current mayor is John Cummins. For the purposes of elections to Dáil Éireann, the city is part of the Waterford constituency, which includes the county of Waterford except for those parts of the county near Clonmel that lie in Tipperary South. The constituency elects 4 deputies to Dáil Éireann. There are no such ward restrictions for these elections, and voters are entitled to vote for any candidate throughout the city and county. History. Viking raiders first established a settlement near Waterford in 853. It and all the other long forts were vacated in 902, the Vikings having been driven out by the native Irish. The Vikings re-established themselves in Ireland at Waterford in 914, led at first by Otirla until 917, and after that by Ragnall Uaimar and the Uaimar dynasty, and built what would be Ireland's first city. Among the most prominent rulers of Waterford was Ivar of Waterford. In 1167, Diarmait mac Murchada, the deposed king of Leinster, failed in an attempt to take Waterford. He returned in 1170 with Cambro-Norman mercenaries under Richard de Clare, 2nd Earl of Pembroke. Together they besieged and took the city after a desperate defence. In furtherance of the Norman invasion of Ireland, King Henry II of England landed at Waterford in 1171. Waterford and then Dublin were declared royal cities, with Dublin also declared capital of Ireland. Annalistic references. See Annals of Innis for Linnaei 926.2. The fleet of Portlaoise overland, and they settled on Láirge. AI 927.2. A slaughter of the foreigners of Portlaoise at Selmochaloch by the men of Mumu and by the foreigners of Luimna. AI 984.2. A great naval expedition by the sons of Harold to Portlaoise Portlaoise, and then the son of Senetiga exchanged hostages there as a guarantee of both together providing a hosting to attack Athcliath. The men of Mumu assembled and proceeded to Meglegan, and the foreigners overcame the Uish and Selegan went by sea, and the men of Mumu, moreover, devastated Osraga in the same year, and its churches, and the churches of Legan, and the fortifications of both were laid waste, and Gilpatrick, son of Donchard, was released. AI 1018.5 Death of Ragnall, son of Imar, king of Portlaoise. AI 1031.9 Seldara and Portlaoise were burned. Throughout the medieval period, Waterford was Ireland's second city after Dublin. In the 15th century, Waterford repelled two pretenders to the English throne, Lambert Simnel and Perkin Warbeck. As a result, King Henry VII gave the city its motto, Urbs intacta mane Waterfordia. After the Protestant Reformation, Waterford remained a Catholic city and participated in the Confederation of Kilkenny, an independent Catholic government from 1642 to 1649. This was ended abruptly by Oliver Cromwell, who brought the country back under English rule. His nephew Henry Ireton finally took Waterford in 1650 after a major siege. The 18th century was a period of huge prosperity for Waterford. Most of the city's best architecture appeared during this time. A permanent military presence was established in the city with the completion of the cavalry barracks at the end of the 18th century. In the early 19th century, Waterford City was deemed vulnerable and the British government erected 3 Martello towers on the Hook Peninsula to reinforce the existing fort and cannon. During the 19th century, great industries such as glass-making and shipbuilding thrived in the city. The city was represented in the Parliament of the United Kingdom from 1891 to 1918 by John Redmond MP, leader of the Irish Parliamentary Party. Redmond, then leader of the pro-Parnell faction of the party, defeated David Sheehy in 1891. In 1911, Br. Jerome Foley, Br. Dunstan Drummond, Br. Leopold Lauren left Waterford for Malvern, Australia. Here, they founded a Catholic college which is still in existence today. In July 1922, Waterford was the scene of fighting between Irish Free State and Irish Republican troops during the Irish Civil War. Notable features. The city is situated at the head of Waterford Harbour. The city motto Urbs intacta mane Waterfordia was granted by King Henry VII of England in 1497 after Waterford refused to recognise the claims of the pretenders Lambert Simnel and Perkin Warbeck to the English throne. Waterford was subjected to 2 sieges in 1649 and 1650 during the Cromwellian conquest of Ireland. It withstood the first siege but surrendered during the second siege to Henry Ireton on 6 August 1650. Reginald's Tower is the oldest urban civic building in Ireland, and the oldest monument to retain its Viking name. To this day, it remains Waterford's most recognisable landmark. It is believed to be the first building in Ireland to use mortar. The River Suir, which flows through Waterford City, has provided a basis for the city's long maritime history. The place downriver from Waterford where the Nore and the Barrow join the River Suir is known in Irish as Munster.The. Waterford Port has been one of Ireland's major ports for over a millennium. In the 19th century, shipbuilding was a major industry. The owners of the Neptune shipyard, the Malcolmson family, built and operated the largest fleet of iron steamers in the world between the mid-1850s and the late 1860s, including 5 transatlantic passenger liners. Today, Waterford is known for Waterford Crystal, a legacy of the city's former glass-making industry. Glass or crystal was manufactured manufactured in the city from 1783 until early 2009, when the factory that was shut down after the receivership of Waterford Wedgwood plc. The Waterford Crystal Visitor Centre in the Viking Quarter opened in June 2010 after the intervention of Waterford City Council and Waterford Chamber of Commerce. Waterford is also known for being the starting point of one of the biggest European airlines. Ryanair's first flight was a 14-seat Embraer Bandierante turboprop aircraft, flying between Waterford and Gatwick Airport. Climate. The climate of Waterford is, like the rest of Ireland, classified as a maritime temperate climate according to the Köppen climate classification system. It is mild and changeable with abundant rainfall and a lack of temperature extremes. The counties in the Waterford area are often referred to as the sunny southeast. The hottest months of the year are June, July and August, with temperatures of around 17 to 22 degrees. Waterford gets rainfall all year round and the wettest months are October, November, December and January. Culture. Public buildings. Waterford Museum of Treasures, forming the hub of the Viking Triangle, previously housed in the granary on Merchants Quay, is now accommodated in two museums on the Mall. The first is housed in the 19th century Bishop's Palace on the Mall, which holds items from 1700 to 1970. This was opened in June 2011. The second museum is located next to Bishop's Palace, displaying the medieval history of the city as well as the choristers' hall. As well as the above, the mall now contains Reginald's Tower, the House of Waterford Crystal, Christchurch Cathedral, and the Theatre Royal, among various other historical landmarks. Reginald's Tower, the oldest urban civic building in the country, is situated on the quays. The Mall in Waterford. It has performed numerous functions over the years and today is a civic museum. A museum at Mount Sion is dedicated to the story of Brother Edmund Ignatius Rice and the history of the Christian Brothers and Presentation Brothers. Along with the museum there is a cafe and a new chapel. The new museum was designed by Javs Design. Waterford Municipal Art Gallery has been housed in Greyfriars since 2001. It is the permanent home for the Municipal Art Collection, a gem among municipal collections. Over 200 paintings by Irish and international artists, including pieces from renowned artists such as Jack B. Yeats, Paul Henry, Charles Lamb and Louis Le Brocquet. Garth Lane Arts Centre is located in two separate restored buildings on O'Connell Street. A new contemporary gallery called Soma opened in 2009 on the Mall. The Theatre Royal on the Mall was built in 1876 as part of a remodeled section of City Hall. It is a U-shaped Victorian theatre, seating about 600 people. Garth Lane Arts Centre is housed in two conserved 18th century buildings on O'Connell Street. Garth Lane Gallery, the 18th century townhouse of Samuel Barker, contains the gallery and a Bausch and Amp dance studio. And Garter Lane Theatre is based in the beautiful Quaker Meeting House, built in 1792. The theatre was renovated and restored in 2006 and now contains a 164-seat auditorium. St. John's College, Waterford was a Catholic seminary founded in 1807 for the diocese. In the 1830s the college established a mission to Newfoundland in Canada. It closed as a seminary in 1999 and in 2007 much of its building and lands were sold to the Respond Housing Association. Arts theatre companies. There are three theatre companies: Red Kettle, Spraw Oyer and Waterford Youth Arts. Red Kettle is a professional theatre company based in Waterford that regularly performs in Garter Lane Theatre. Spraw Oyer is a street theatre company based in Waterford. It produces the Spraw Oyer Festival and has participated regularly in the Waterford and Dublin St Patrick's Day parades, often winning Best Float. In January January 2005, the company staged its biggest and most prestigious production to date, Awakening, the opening show for Cork 2005 European Capital of Culture. Waterford Youth Arts, formerly known as Waterford Youth Drama, was established in August 1985. WYA has grown from the voluntary efforts of 2 individuals and 25 young people, to a fully structured youth arts organization with a paid staff and 400 young people taking part each week. Notable playwrights include Jim Nolan, who co-founded Red Cattle Theatre Company. Libraries: there are 3 public libraries in the city, all operated by Waterford City Council. Central Library, in Lady Lane. Ardkeen Library, in the Ardkeen Shopping Centre on the Dunmore Road, and Browns Road Library, on Paddy Browns Road. Central Library, or Waterford City Library, opened in 1905. It was the first of many Irish libraries funded by businessman Andrew Carnegie. It was renovated in 2004 for its centenary. The Barracks Street Concert Band, a band established in 1870 and is one of the only bands in Ireland to have unbroken service through a civil war and 2 world wars. They have a long and rich history. In 1982 they changed the name to the Barracks Street Concert Band. The new name reflected a change in instrumentation, including flutes, saxophones, oboes and a full percussion section, which led to more members joining and a wider variety of music being played. In 1994 the band won the All-Ireland Senior Military Band Championships in Wesley Collage, Dublin, under the baton of Mr. Niall O'Connor, and 10 years later, in 2004, the band won the South of Ireland Senior Military Band Championships in Clonakilty, Cork, under the baton of the band's current musical director, Mr. Mark Fitzgerald. Waterford Film for All is a non-profit film society whose aim is to offer an alternative to the Cineplex experience in Waterford. WFFA conducts much of its activities on the Waterford Institute of Technology campus. Cinema, Odeon Cinema in the Railway Square Complex. Omniplex Cinema, Patrick Street. Events: the Waterford Film Festival was established in 2007 by local filmmaker Stephen Byrne. His objective was to bring something new Waterford's arts and cultural scene, promoting local, national filmmakers and writers, but in particular independent film. www.waterfordfilmfestival.net. Waterford Music Fest, launched in 2011, is an outdoor, one-day music event which takes place in the heart of Waterford City during the summer. In 2011, Waterford Music Fest, organised by Music Events Ireland, was headlined by 50 Cent, Flo Rida and G-Unit. Over 10,000 people attended the 2011 event. Spraw Oi Festival, organised by the Spraw Oi Theatre Company, is a professional festival and street arts organisation which takes over the city centre of Waterford on the August bank holiday weekend. It attracts audiences in excess of 80,000 people to the city. Waterford International Festival of Light Opera is an annual event that has been held in the Theatre Royal since 1959. It has recently been rebranded as the Waterford International Festival of Music and now takes place in November. Tall Ships Festival, held in Waterford in 2005, marked the start of the Tall Ships race of that year. The Suir River provided the berthing location for the tall ships that lined the North and South Keys for almost a week. The festival attracted in the region of 450,000 people to the city. Waterford hosted the start of the Tall Ships race again in 2011. Waterford Harvest Food Festival takes place annually in September along the Keys. The festival offers visitors demonstrations, workshops and tours of local produces, numerous markets, tastings and dinners. St. Patrick's Day Parade takes place annually on the 17th of March. There are two arts festivals of note in the city: the Imagine Arts Festival in October and the Fringe Arts Festival in September. Waterford Winterval, an annual Christmas festival held in the city centre. Media. Broadcasting RTE's southeastern studio is in the city. Waterford local radio is available on 94.8 FM on the coast, 95.1 FM in the county and on 97.5 FM in Waterford City. WLR-FM is Waterford's local radio station. Beat 100 and 2103 is a regional youth radio station broadcasting across the southeast of Ireland. It is based in Ardkeen, along with sister station WLR-FM. Print. The Waterford News and AMP Star is based on Gladstone Street in Waterford City. It covers Waterford City and County. It is now published in tabloid format. The Munster Express has its office on the Quay in Waterford City and covers stories from across the city and county. It switched to tabloid format in 2011. Waterford Mail is a free newspaper that comes out on Thursdays. It has an office on O'Connell Street. Its circulation is currently 20,000 and it delivers to homes and business across the city and county. Waterford Today is an advertising-supported free newspaper. It is delivered to most homes in the Waterford City area and is also available in many shops across the east of the county. Its newly refurbished offices are at the Mayor's Walk in the city. Waterford News and Star is in the shops on Tuesdays. The Munster Express and Waterford Today are in the shops on Wednesdays. Places of interest. The city of Waterford consists of various cultural quarters, the oldest of which is known as Viking Triangle. This is the part of the city surrounded by the original 10th century fortifications, which is triangular in shape with its apex at Reginald's Tower. Though this was once the site of a thriving Viking city, the city centre has shifted to the west over the years, and it is now a quiet and tranquil area, dominated by narrow streets, medieval architecture, and civic spaces. Over the past decade, a number of restaurants have opened in High Street and Henrietta Street, taking advantage of the charming character of the area. Much of Waterford's impressive architecture is to be found in the Viking Triangle. In the 15th century, the city was enlarged with the building of an outer wall on the west side. Today, Waterford retains more of its city walls than any other city in Ireland, with the exception of Derry, whose walls were built much later. Tours of Waterford's city walls are conducted daily. The quay, once termed by historian Mark Girouard the noblest quay in Europe, is a mile long from Grattan Quay to Adelphi Quay. Though Adelphi Quay is now a residential area, it is still a major focal point for Waterford, commercially and socially, and the face that Waterford presents to those travelling into the city from the north. Near Reginald's Tower is the William Vincent Wallace Plaza, a monument and amenity built around the time of the millennium that commemorates the Waterford-born composer. John Roberts Square is a pedestrianised area that is one of the main focal points of Waterford's modern-day commercial centre. It was named after the city's most celebrated architect, John Roberts, and was formed from the junction of Barronstone Street, Broad Street and George's Street. It is often referred to locally as Red Square, due to the red paving that was used when the area was first pedestrianised. A short distance to the east of John Roberts Square is Arundel Square, another square with a fine commercial tradition, which the City Square shopping centre opens onto. Ballybricken, in the west, just outside the city walls, is thought to have been Waterford's Irish town, a type of settlement that often formed outside Irish cities to house the Vikings and Irish that had been expelled during the Norman invasion of Ireland. Ballybricken is an inner-city neighbourhood with a long tradition, centred around Ballybricken Hill, which was a large open market square. Today it has been converted into a green, civic space, but the bull post, where livestock was once bought and sold, still stands as a remnant of the hill's past. The mall is a fine Georgian thoroughfare, built by the White Streets Commission to extend the city southwards. It contains some of the city's finest Georgian architecture. The People's Park, Waterford's largest and finest park, is located nearby. Ferrybank in County Waterford is Waterford's only suburb north of the river. It contains a village centre of its own. Waterford City Council have granted permission for a number of major retail developments in Ferrybank. One has been completed and the second is currently under construction and due to be completed in January 2009. In April 2003, an important site combining a 5th century Iron Age and 9th century Viking settlement was discovered at Woodstown near the city, which appears to have been a Viking town that predates all such settlements in Ireland. Waterford crystal is manufactured in Waterford, but in early 2009 the company moved its operations to continental Europe. A new Waterford Crystal Visitor Centre opened on the 22nd of June 2010. Waterford's oldest public house can be found just outside the old Viking Triangle. Ticketautomat Doolans, of 3132 George's Street, has been officially active and open to the public for over 300 years. The official record of licenses dates back to the 18th century, but the premises is believed to be closer to 500 years in age. A main element of the structure includes one of the original city walls, almost 1,000 years old, which can be viewed in the lounge area of the building. Economy. Waterford is the main city of Ireland's southeast region. Historically, Waterford was an important trading port which brought much prosperity to the city throughout the city's eventful history. Waterford Port is Ireland's closest deep-water port to mainland Europe, handling approximately 12% of Ireland's external trade by value. Waterford's most famous export. Waterford crystal is an internationally known and highly sought-after product that was manufactured in the city from 1783 to 2009 and again from 2010 to the present day. Some of the places where Waterford crystal can be seen include New York City, where Waterford crystal made the 2,668 crystals for the famous New Year's Eve ball that is dropped each year in Times Square. In Westminster Abbey, Windsor Castle and the Kennedy Center, Washington. Throughout its history, Waterford crystal provided employment to thousands in the city and surrounding areas. Agriculture also played an important part in Waterford's economic history. Kilmainham, about 5 kilometers from the city, was also home to a very successful cooperative. The farmers of the area benefited greatly from the sale of the produce to the co-op. In 1964, all of the co-ops in Waterford amalgamated and was registered as Waterford Co-op. This led to the construction of a cheese factory on a greenfield site opposite the general store, and Kilmainham cheese was to become one of the most recognized and successful cheddar brands in the world. This is evident as the brand won a gold and bronze medal in the World Cheese Awards in London in 2005. Today, Waterford is the site of a number of multinational companies including GlaxoSmithKline, Bausch & Lomb, Nipro Healthcare, Genzyme, Hasbro, Teva Pharmaceuticals and Honeywell International. The Irish economic recession from 2008 onwards has had a major negative impact on Waterford's economy. A number of multinational companies have closed from the recession, including Waterford Crystal and TalkTalk, which has led to a high rate of unemployment.